serving the Republic of the Philippines for more than 75 years. Ito po ang Presidential Broadcast Service.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday urged the private sector to invest in electric vehicle or e-vehicle manufacturing facilities in the Philippines. In his speech during the launch of the Dongfeng Motors in the Philippines, held at the Metro Tent Convention Center in Ortigas, the President encouraged the private sector to strive and help the government generate more employment opportunities in order to uplift the people's quality of life. President Marcos said the Philippines offer fiscal incentives which include income tax holidays, duty exemption of capital equipment, raw materials, and spare parts used in electric vehicles. According to the chief executive, the government aims to increase the share of electric vehicles to 10% or 50% by 2040. The Philippine president said the shift to electric vehicles is part of measures to uphold the country's commitment under the Paris Agreement. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Thank you very much, the former governor of Ilocos Sur, Manong Chavit Singson, and the chairman now of Legado Motors, who have gone into please take a seat, who have gone into partnership with Dongfeng on this program of importation and distribution of the new vehicles, hybrid and electric vehicles from Dongfeng. Mr. Brennan S. Lim, the Deputy CEO of the Legado Motors, Inc., fellow workers in government, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, we move closer to the vision of building a smarter and greener future as we convene for the launching of Dongfeng Motors here in the Philippines. I convey my gratitude to the Legado Motors Incorporated for partnering with Dongfeng Motors in importing some of its electric vehicle models to the Philippines and offering them to the local market. We heartily welcome your efforts to help us actualize our goal to increase the use of electric vehicles in our transportation sector. Considering our continued dependence on imported fuels and the volatility of oil products in the world market, it is only sensible that we encourage the shift to electric vehicles. We not only get savings in fuel and gas, but also significantly lessen our greenhouse gas emissions and champion sustainability in our day-to-day activities. Owning an electric vehicle here in the Philippines also confers a wide range of incentives and advantage. Aside from having priority in the registration and renewal of registration of vehicles at the Land Transportation Office, owners will also get to enjoy exemption from the number coding schemes, amongst others. It is important to note that the promotion of the use of electric vehicles is among the measures of the government to uphold our country's commitment under the Paris Agreement. Under this treaty, we pledge to a projected greenhouse gas emissions reduction and avoidance of 75% for 2020 to 2030 in agriculture, waste, industry, transport, and energy. In the Philippines, the transportation sector is the largest source of energy-related greenhouse gas emissions. So, If we aim to fulfill our pledge to the Paris Agreement, we need to boost the share of electric vehicles in the total projected vehicle fleet nationwide. The government aims to increase the share of electric vehicles to 10% or hopefully 50% by 2040. As of late 2020, there are just around 8,800 electric vehicles in the country. So to boost this number, we are working on the gradual shift to electric vehicles for public transportation. Currently, we are implementing the PUV Modernization Program. This entitles beneficiaries to special loan facilities and equity subsidies for the acquisition of electric vehicles. To date, nearly 400 electric public utility vehicles are plying 29 routes nationwide, bringing safe, modern, comfortable, and green transportation to the masses. In Davao City, over 300 electric buses have been deployed to pioneer an integrated, sustainable urban transport system. The Department of Transportation and the United Nations Development Program have also given electric public utility vehicles under its low-carbon urban transport project. More cities and urban centers are following suit. Now, some are testing the viability of electric vehicles and electric public transportation for their local needs and conditions. So it's my firm belief that these endeavors will not only gain momentum, but also wider adoption moving forward as our people realize the benefits of these vehicles in their communities. So I enjoin the public to support the programs and policies of government, as well as opt for alternative or renewable sources of energy. Let me also encourage the private sector to participate in our efforts to make the Philippines a part of the global chain of electric vehicles by investing in manufacturing facilities in our country. Strive with us as we generate more employment opportunities, enrich our people's quality of life, and fostering more environmentally friendly communities. In return, we offer fiscal incentives such as the income tax holiday and duty exemption of capital equipment, raw materials, and spare parts used in electric vehicles. So let me affirm once more this administration's commitment to support the Legado Motors Incorporated and its key partners in this very important endeavor. Let us harmonize all our efforts, as I'm confident that we will win the race for a more sustainable and energy-secure future. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. will attend his first ever summit between the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, and the Gulf Cooperation Council, or GCC, in Saudi Arabia. During his visit, the President is scheduled to attend the ASEAN GCC Summit, meet with the Filipino community, and hold bilateral talks with Saudi Arabia and Bahrain counterparts. In a press briefing, Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA Assistant Secretary Daniel Espiritu said, President Marcos will present the Maharlika Investment Fund, or MIF, to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This is part of the government's efforts to attract investors into the country. There will also be a roundtable discussion among Arab businessmen. In his meeting with leaders from Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, the chief executive will push for the protection of Filipinos, labor reforms, and assistance for the development of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARM. The summit will mark the attendance of leaders from the 10-member ASEAN states and the 6-member GCC after the two regional organizations established their partnership more than 3 decades ago. Espiritu said GCC members can help ASEAN nations in addressing energy and food security. The focus of the new era of partnership are political security, economic and socio-cultural collaboration, which the two sides are going to make more upbeat. In his meeting with Saudi Arabia, the President will follow up with the unpaid salaries of overseas Filipino workers or OFWs, as well as commemorate the country's 54th year of diplomatic relations with the kingdom. With Bahrain, President Marcos will look back on Philippine relations for the past 45 years.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has assured the family of Loretta Villarin Alacre, the third Filipino killed in the firefight between Hamas militants and Israeli forces, that the government will do its best to immediately bring home her remains as soon as a humanitarian corridor will be opened for affected civilians. In a statement on Monday, Malacañang said President Marcos made the assurance in a phone call to Alacre's sister on Sunday to extend his condolences. The President said the Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, and the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, or OWA, will provide all necessary assistance. Alacre, a 49-year-old caregiver, was among the Filipinos earlier reported missing when the militant Hamas attacked Israel from the Gaza Strip. The chief executive said the government is now focusing on how to send back home the remains of Alacre. President Marcos said the Philippine ambassador to Egypt is now waiting for positive feedback for the possible opening of a humanitarian corridor so that the government can start with the repatriation efforts. He added that the airport in Tel Aviv is still open, but it is not yet allowing refugees. Nevertheless, the Philippine government is coordinating efforts with the Israeli government to allow the repatriation of affected Filipinos.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, has completed the recovery of FB Dirin, the fishing boat that capsized in Pangasinan province in a collision incident with an international oil tanker early this month. In a statement on Monday, PCG spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore J. Tariela said, the recovered vessel arrived at Subic Freeport in Zambales province before midnight Sunday. The remnants of the fishing boat will be used by the Philippine National Police, or PNP, forensics in an investigation to strengthen the case against MV Pacific Anna, the Marshall Islands flag tanker that allegedly rammed FB Dirin. The recovery operation was carried out by Task Force Kaligtasan sa Karagatan, or in English, Safety at Sea, led by Vice Admiral Joseph Koime, and divided into three phases: aerial survey, security, and salvage operations. The first phase of the operation began on October 7th, with the deployment of the PCG's Cessna Caravan to locate the fishing boat. Once the location was confirmed via aerial survey, the PCG deployed BRP Malapascua to the FB Dirin's location on October 8th to secure the area while awaiting the arrival of a salvage vessel. Koime, also the commander of the Maritime Safety Services Command, sought assistance from the Harbor Star Salvaging Company, a PCG-accredited salvage company. The company provided tugboat MT Avior for the actual salvage operation. The PCG previously said No other vessel went near FB Darin except MV Princess Anna based on the data on ships' transponders in the area. It added that the incident was likely an accident based on the testimonies of survivors. On October 2nd, at around 4:20 in the morning, FB Darin was moored to its payao or raft carrying 6 of its crew members when it was rammed, causing the boat to capsize and resulting in 3 fatalities. The survivors were later rescued by the other crew members who were out fishing when the incident occurred.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine senators want more funding for the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, in order to boost the government's campaign against cybercrime, especially with the recent series of hacking on government websites. In a statement, Senator Grace Poe said the hacking incidents should be stopped and the hackers should be held liable. Thus, the government must invest in strong cybersecurity infrastructures to safeguard public records. Senator Ronald De La Rosa said he has been calling for the increase in the DICT's 2024 proposed budget and even suggested that the agency be provided with intelligence funds. Meanwhile, Deputy Minority Leader Risa Ontiveros recently filed Senate Resolution Number 829 to look into the series of hacking and data breach involving government agencies, sufficiency of prevailing cybersecurity measures, and government preparedness for cyber attacks. Ontiveros cited in her resolution a report from the Philippine National Police Anti-Cybercrime Group that in the first quarter of this year alone, it received 16,297 reports of cybercrime cases. Senate Resolution Number 829, Senator Ontiveros said that the breach of personal and sensitive information kept by government agencies endangers the safety and security of all Filipinos, leaving citizens even more vulnerable to increasingly nefarious schemes involving text message spams, online scams, phishing, financial fraud, extortion, blackmail, and even identity theft. The series of hacking incidents started with the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, where the hackers gained access to its online systems and demanded $300,000 in exchange for not leaking the personal data they have acquired. The Philippine Statistics Authority has also announced that its community-based monitoring system, which contained personal and sensitive personal information, was accessed by hackers. Over the weekend, the House of Representatives website was also compromised.
Dateline Malacañang.
The National Security Council, or NSC's decision to include Hamas as a terrorist group under the Philippines anti-terrorism law was neither investigated by the United States nor Israel. NSC Assistant Director General Jonathan Malaya said the designation of Hamas as a terrorist organization was done after earlier investigations revealed that the group attempted to infiltrate and launch terrorist activities in the Philippines. Malaya cited the 2018 incident when a Hamas operative, who is also a bomb maker in the country, arrested by the Philippine National Police and deported to Turkey. He added that in 2022, Hamas had operatives in the country talking to local extremist groups so that they could operate in our country. Malaya said that these efforts are irrespective on whether the country will get favorable points on any nation for this measure. Hamas has already been declared a terrorist organization by the United States, European Union, Australia, and many other nations. National Security Advisor Eduardo Año earlier said the NSC would push for the designation of Hamas as a terrorist organization under Republic Act 11479 as a priority agenda of the Anti-Terrorism Council.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian on Monday said, a technical working group or TWG has been formed to ensure that the Walang Gutom 2027 Food Stamp Program or FSP will achieve its goal of decreasing the incidence of voluntary hunger experienced by low-income households. Gatchalian made this remark as he welcomed Malacañang's issuance of Executive Order or EO number 44, establishing the Walang Gutom 2027 FSP as a flagship project of the Marcos administration. The DSWD has been named the lead agency in crafting the rules and guidelines for the implementation of the program. Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin signed EO 44 on October 12th, directing the DSWD to work in close coordination with concerned national government agencies or NGAs, local government units or LGUs, and other private entities to guarantee the systematic and efficient delivery of assistance to qualified FSP beneficiaries. Under EO 44, all relevant NGAs are directed, while all participating LGUs are enjoined to provide full support to and cooperation with the DSWD to ensure the effective implementation of the program. Under the guidance of Gatchalian, the DSWD's TWG for the FSP will lead the crafting of the implementing rules and regulations of EO 44 within 30 days upon its effectivity. Launched on July 18th in Tondo, Manila, and rolled out in Siargao Island on September 29th, the FSP is a fully digitized program of the DSWD that aims to fight involuntary hunger by providing food augmentation to the bottom 1 million households based on Listahanan 3, who are classified as belonging to the food poor criteria as defined by the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA, including pregnant and nursing mothers. The program is set to hold its third nutrition education session and fourth redemption day for its pilot beneficiaries in Tondo on October 18th. The FSP is being implemented in coordination with the Department of Labor and Employment, Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, National Nutrition Council, Food and Nutrition Research Institute, World Food Program, Asian Development Bank, Pilipinas Contra Gutom Movement, and the Management Association of the Philippines or MAP.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, we would like to invite everyone to come and visit our Facebook page at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our post as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.